Gains for Girls podcast, host Riley Gaines. All right. You know, when I started my career, if you told me, 30 years ago that these would be the topics that you would go through what you had to go through, I don't think I would have believed it. Or feminine hygiene products in boys' bathrooms, or taxpayer-funded sex change operations on top of it. Let's start with the spelling of the word women. Reaction.
Yeah, well, the Math Olympiad Committee is also accepting 5 as an answer to the question of what is 2 plus 2, as to not offend those numbers that identify as odd. I mean, to your point, Sean, you're exactly right. How lucky are we to live in the United States of America, where the spelling of women, never mind the definition, has become a national debate. These are fabricated issues created by people who believe they're marginalized or oppressed, who I believe, quite frankly, want to be oppressed, when in reality, we live in the greatest nation in the entire world. So totally manufactured outrage. I don't know if you've ever been a part of a spelling bee, but I was in elementary school. Of course, you stand up there.
I can't spell to this day. Riley, if there wasn't something called spell check on this iPhone of mine, trust me, I probably couldn't spell women the new way or the old way.
Well, with the way the Department of Education is going now, that's probably you and majority of people. But really, I mean, think about it. You stand up there, the judges read off the word, and then you can ask them to either use the word in a sentence, or you can ask them for the definition of the word. Imagine, Sean, a kid getting the word woman and asking for the definition. It would be this beautiful full circle moment, because those with little to no common sense have not been able to answer that question for years now. Ketanji Brown Jackson, she's a judge. Yeah. Actually, she's surpassed that, given she's a member of the highest court, so she's a justice. Nonetheless, she's qualified to be a judge of the spelling bee. What kind of answer do you think she would give, Sean, to the question, what is a woman?
I have no earthly idea, but I know you're going to tell me.
Well, I mean, she isn't a biologist, so who are we to say? But again, what we've seen in regards to the indoctrination, the grooming of children, it comes after, of course, this story, but it comes after a bombshell report just this week from, I believe it was from Parents Defending Education, that highlighted how President Biden's Department of Education has shelled out over $1 billion on various DEI initiatives since 2021. That's almost $500 million on DEI hiring efforts in schools. That's, I think, over $350 million on DEI programming. It was $170 million on DEI-related mental health, which is one of many of the reasons why the Department of Education should be abolished and authority should be returned to local community, to the states, and to the parents.
By the way, did Google ever hear of Bud Light? Did they not watch what happened to Bud Light? Did they not watch the rise of Modelo beer? Did they not ever hear the phrase, go woke, go broke? Because it seems like they're not getting it.
No, apparently they didn't. If their goal was to make Americans frustrated and to lose money, then they did a fantastic job. It works every time. Again, using Bud Light as an example, I think they lost essentially $27 billion overnight. But what we've seen, which has left me feeling very hopeful recently, is we've seen lots of corporations and companies and businesses roll back on their DEI initiatives and programs. Walmart, Ford, Harley-Davidson, John Deere, Caterpillar, Lowe's, Tractor Supply. It goes to show you that the free market always prevails. And in the example of Bud Light, you know what their next commercial was? Following the commercial, they had Dylan Mulvaney, again, a man who they dressed as Audrey Hepburn, drinking beer in a bathtub. Their next commercial, after losing all that money, was a big burly man on a motorcycle with a camo can. Yeah. So it goes to show you that the free market always prevails.
All right. Now, our final story. So, according to the Washingtonian, food workers in D.C. pledging to refuse service and cause inconveniences. They're calling this resistance, and they think by not serving a Trump supporter or anybody in the administration that they're taking their power back. Can you explain how not offering service is taking your power back, and how dumb are they? We're about to have no tax on tips. Lousy service means lousy tip, which means less money, because you think you're taking power back, and you're not taking any power back.
No, all they're doing is losing money. So I would encourage all of these Trump supporters, not just people in the admin and staffers, Trump supporters, conservatives as a whole, don't go to these restaurants. They don't want your service. Don't give them your service. But again, this type of reaction, did they learn nothing from November 5th, from election night? Because look, cancel culture, the identity politics, it's all fading. And again, don't take it from me. What about this silly little Trump dance that has become this viral phenomenon? People are doing it on football fields in both college and professionally. And I think, in theory, maybe the dance doesn't mean a lot, but in reality, I think this silly little dance, it means everything. It personifies, it objectifies that free speech is crucial. It is paramount. It shows us that this patriotism is surging, and it's proving that cancel culture is fading. It doesn't have the grip that it once did.
Riley Gaines, we appreciate you being with us.